Indiana Jones and the Great Circle dev thrilled game is coming to PlayStation. Bringing the game to PS5 is something we wanted to do. During Gamescom recently, Microsoft announced that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will come to PlayStation 5 in 2025, following its debut on Xbox Series and PC this December. Creative director Axel Torvenes from Machine Games said in an interview that the studio is super thrilled and excited about the opportunity to bring the game to PS5 and reach a wider audience. The more people that can play the game, who can see all the passion and love we have put into this project and all the hard work, the merrier, the developers told Eurogamer. Design director James Anderson, meanwhile, said bringing the Great Circle to PS5 is something we wanted to do. The developer added that the game's engine, ID Tech, was made as a multi-platform engine which will help the team bring the game to PS5. Anderson mentioned how Machine Games will absolutely be able to have more time to polish the PS5 edition for launch. The Great Circle comes to Xbox Series and PC on December 9th, with a launch set for PS5 in spring 2025. According to a report, the game could launch on PS5 in April 2025. Troy Baker, a veteran voice actor known for playing Joel in The Last of Us, is voicing Indy in The Great Circle. Tony Todd, who voiced Venom in Spider-Man 2, plays Locust. Discussing why Microsoft is bringing Great Circle to PS5, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer said, Xbox is a business that exists to make money. Also, in the interview, Anderson said the Great Circle is a love letter to the Indiana Jones franchise, and as such, it will have plenty of fan service, including Easter eggs and other nods. At the same time, Anderson said it's equally important that the Great Circle appeals to people who don't know anything about the franchise. We want this to be the first introduction to Indiana Jones for a lot of people who can just try it out on Game Pass, the developer said. For more, check out GameSpot's rundown of everything you need to know about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So let's look at some comments. Moogie Star goes, the game kind of looks terrible in my opinion. They That said, yeah, I'm not surprised they want it on PS5. They'll make a lot more money versus Xbox, given that PS5 owners have to actually buy the game and not simply get it with their subscription. Also, twice the amount of PS5s than Xbox helps too. Well, that's Xbox fault. Furwing said, no licensed IP should be platform exclusive. Of course, the developer would be happy that 60 plus million more potential customers will now have access to this game. And Chubby170 goes, great news. So we've covered the drawback of this. Um, we've gone through, you know, what about Indiana Jones coming to PS5. Do you think it's really a good thing or do you think it's just it's hurting Xbox more than it's helping anyone?
In today's world, where the newer gamers, who I call them, like the ones who are under a certain age group, they want everything on every platform. I think it's good for them. Uh, Obviously, with us older gamers over past 25, 30 years old, we're like the dinosaurs of the gaming community in a fucked up manner. Yeah, they're like, oh, these whippersnappers, they don't want everything on everything, and because we grew up with the console exclusivities when we were kids, it was the best thing for competition among these companies from Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, and all, and other companies that are on third parties or of sorts too. So it's all about who's going to get the best deal for the best skins, for the best DLC of that console, and that was also kind of a good thing to keep that competition flowing. Because you put everything on every platform, even though it's only just on Sony instead of just Xbox, that's a good thing at first, obviously. But then it's like, what's the point of exclusivity? What's the point of all the goodness of that? Because obviously everyone has everything, and it's like there's nothing special about it. This is all. It's really just not an opinion, but it's been an actual marketing strategy as early as the early 2000s into for going back earlier since then. And it sucks that it comes to an end in its fullness. That's exclusivity. Now it's all about inclusivity in the I end, inclusivity, and it's like at first, having everyone on every platform, it's just I don't know, man. It doesn't seem right at first. This is all it's all about my opinion at the end, but it based on my experience just as a going through marketing classes and business mathematics classes as well too. So it's kind of like, what are you trying to strive for with this goal of having both on PlayStation and Sony? I mean, Sony PlayStation and Microsoft Xbox, because there's this YouTuber I've been listening to for a few weeks now. His name is Oh No It's Alex with two X's, and he's been like bashing the fanboys both Sony and PlayStation and also Xbox for having all this. Oh, it should be on this platform. It should be on that platform. Indiana Jones, and it's like, and most of these fanboys are in their 30s and 40s, if not 50s. So it's kind of like pathetic on our part. We still fighting like we're still kids back in the 1990s and 2000s, whereas you know kids of like now they don't care about all that competition and brand loyalty and stuff like that. Maybe with Apple products, like Apple iPhone and stuff like that, that's of its niche. It's still relevant, so most people who can afford those $1,000 phones. But that's about it, because the everyday people, the everyday customer, the everyday gamer of today can only afford but a few games a year at a time. Unless they have the Game Pass for the Xbox or the Sony's Play It Now, whatever it's called in today's world. So it's it is what it is right now. We got to adapt to it as us older gamers, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just it's just the way I look at it. It's closer to it's not a monopoly yet, but it's kind of like one step closer to a gaming monopoly
Yeah,
because I mean, if you didn't like Microsoft, you could get a PS5. If you didn't like Sony, you could get a Nintendo Switch. If you didn't like Nintendo, you could get an Xbox. And now it's kind of like we're almost losing one option because you know, don't get me wrong. When Xbox bought Sea of Thieves to PS5, I thought, fine, that game's probably been out since the Xbox One has been out. It was dead in the water. They weren't going to get any more sales. Put it on PS5. But
yeah.
this is something different because Indiana Jones is going to be out for what, 4 months on Xbox One before it goes over to PS5. I mean, timed exclusives last longer than that.
A year at least.
So yeah, so that's just the point. It's kind of like we're almost going towards a gaming monopoly in modern gaming because it's like what's the point? It's what's the point of getting an Xbox at this point? Xbox has just completely abandoned their system, but they're still putting out new Xbox Ones, expecting people to buy them in October.
And then you have the snapping app feature where some people can't afford having multiple TVs or multiple computers in a room or rooms of their household, or whatever. So, cater to guys like me who like snapping app, at least bring that back on the Series X and S, especially the newer consoles. But, that's my opinion, of course, in that matter.
Yeah, but I mean, it's almost like I said, to finish my point, when they bought Sea of Thieves over, I was like, fine, they're probably not going to get any more sales. They'd probably be lucky to get one more sale from an Xbox gamer that hasn't already gotten Sea of Thieves. If someone hasn't gotten it yet on Xbox, it's because they don't want it. So I was fine when they bought that over. But Indiana Jones, I mean, it's not even like more people could play together because Indiana Jones is a single player game. What are they going to do? Tack on some multiplayer mode that's half baked just so say, hey, this has multiplayer too. That's why people can play together. And it's like when I think of Indiana Jones, regardless what subtitle, I think of a single player game.
Oh, yeah.
And so I hope there's no half baked multiplayer, tacked on multiplayer mode, but I didn't even think of that till just now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I said, it's like, what's the point of getting an Xbox now?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what exclusives? And we're going to talk about uh, Phil Spencer's lapses in judgment later on when it came to certain game franchises. Um, but I just don't see the point. It's kind of like, yeah, if you were going to do this, you would wait till sales have basically died on Xbox, then bring it to PS5. Like
Yeah.
you did with Sea of Thieves. Like you did when Xbox gave a crap about their consoles. But no, it's gonna be on Xbox, and basically people are gonna be like, you can get it 4 months later on PS5 if you want to get it on PS5. What reason is there to get an Xbox
Well,
at this point? Because it's kind of like it's because any popular game that's not Halo, which when was the last time a Halo game came out? Um,
Infinite, if I remember correctly, that's about it. Maybe some portable mobile games. That's about it. That's all I could think of.
I wasn't thinking of mobile games. I was thinking of console games.
Right.
Um, but I mean, with it's kind of like if a game's going to be a big deal, it's going to be on PS5 or Game Pass maybe. And it's just it's almost like at this point just give Microsoft the white towel so they can wait the white a white towel, a white flag, anything so they could just wave it. I mean,
Phil Spencer did that last year, so.
yeah, he already did that. So,
I'm gonna talk more about him later on. That.
but yeah. So I mean, like if I would expect Indiana. I mean, because like and think about the old days. Think about Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. That was exclusive to PlayStation 2. And then after Metal Gear Solid 2, they bought the Twin Snakes to GameCube. But Twin Snakes was still different. It was like I think Metal Gear Solid 1 with Metal Gear Solid 2 gameplay.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it was still different for people who like the new gameplay but like the older story. And so that was okay, a reason to actually get both the PlayStation 2 version and the GameCube version. But this, I just don't see why. I mean, great, more people can play together, but if a
Mm-hmm.
game doesn't have multiplayer, what's the point? How many people are playing together if there is no multiplayer mode?
But so on co-op of up to 4 or 5 6 players, that's about it.
But even co-op, it's probably what Indiana Jones is gonna have what one person with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's yeah. So it's not like you're getting a whole big gaming match of players to compete in some battle royale mode, which I shudder to think maybe shouldn't go into this because I'm probably giving developers ideas. Um, but they've
I'm on the podcast with them. Hold on. Come back soon. Sorry
but
about that.
they've
Go ahead.
but they've all gotten bitten by the Fortnite bug. So I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything that developers haven't already thought of. So it's kind of like there's no reason to buy an Xbox. All of Xbox's biggest games are coming to PlayStation 5. Nintendo's doing its own thing, and this is the state of the gaming industry.
Yeah.
Is it wrong to want a video game crash to happen?
I mean, before Boogie became all crazy in the recent time, back in like 2014, 2015, he predicted it was going to be a game crash sometime in the next few years. So he was right before he became all crazy and stuff with his antics on YouTube. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like the first time you couldn't really avoid it. It was just companies not doing right. Now it's kind of like the AAA companies that should know better. They're just throwing shit at the wall. It's like, how about instead of throwing shit at the wall, making a good game?
Yeah. It's all about profits. These things are about like quality of the product.
Yeah, exactly. Crap, low quality. Like I said, I don't, I at this point, I don't think games will ever get back to where they used to be in terms of quality.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
goes back to my previous point that why would anyone want to pay 80, 90, 100, $110 for mediocre games?
let's get from independent small companies that make good independent games. Like one of those the games like White Noise or Amnesia, stuff like that. Those are good games to play every now and then. That's from small companies, small gaming companies. So.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why if a video game crash does happen, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to affect independent studios or even uh, studios of small or medium size. I think it's just going to be exclusive to AAA developers.
Oh yeah.
Except
Yeah.
Rocksteady, they've already massacred each other. They've already massacred their staff. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, so more people could play it, but at the same time, that was the number one reason why people had to choose a console because not many people could afford both. So it's kind of like, do you want to play Killzone or do you want to play Gears of War? Do you want to play Halo or do you want to play God of War? Do you want to play uh, do you want to play do you want to play Crash Bandicoot or do you want to play um, you know
Spyro.
yeah, well, not exactly. Well, they're kind of together. Well, but they're both on the. Yeah, but I mean, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro used to be PlayStation exclusives.
Oh yeah.